Alright guys, so here's the deal. Yesterday, my top radiator hose, which is right here, you can't see it in the camera, but it's right here, blew off completely. From the thermostat, little elbow here. Just blew off and blew coolant all over. I was pulling into the driveway. So convenient, and I was lucky that it happened here in the driveway, but it came off nonetheless. So I had to figure out what was causing so much pressure that it would blow my radiator hose off. And there's a couple of things that'll do that. Number one is a head gasket. Everyone's worst nightmare on any car. Head gasket's no fun. And the other is a bad radiator cap. Now, I figured out it was a radiator cap. So that happened yesterday afternoon. I had some other things I had going on. I couldn't deal with it then. But so this morning I got up, and before I went down I better order everything for a head gasket route, I went back to O'Reilly's. I had bought a lever vent. These are nice because this allows you to bleed all the pressure off your system when it's warm, and you can service the truck while it's warm, so you can see how much coolant's in the radiator versus going off of the overflow bottle. So what I did is I got up this morning and I looked, and you should be able to move your radiator cap like that pretty smoothly. Well, the other brand new radiator cap lever vent that I had wouldn't do that. It was jammed up. It would move, but you really had to put a lot of pressure on it to do that. So this one does it very nicely. But so it actually moves nice. So I went down there, bought a few bottles of coolant, I warrantied out the cap because I had the cap for about, I don't even know if I had it 5 days. And came home, serviced it up, put new clamps on. I was using the factory pinch clamps, the tension clamps. They don't have screws, they're not like a band clamp. And that's what allowed the pressure to push it off of there. And I had noticed a couple of times that the hose looked like it was slipping a few days prior, but it really wasn't anything I was going to be concerned about. But so before you go spending I don't know how much money you want to put into it. I'm doing all the work myself, so it would have been just parts. So I looked at it last night. It was like $300 in parts. But if you don't have either the tools to do the head gasket yourself, as in pulling off the turbo, pulling off the fuel system, pulling out everything attached to the head, and then pulling the head from the truck, taking it to a machine shop, making sure the head gets decked if it needs it, and all the valves are good and your valve seats are good, basically getting the head completely redone before you reinstall. If you don't have that capability, make sure you check the little things first, the cheap things, the simple things, the things that are going to fail before a head gasket normally would. A radiator cap will fail probably before a head gasket will. Thankfully, I don't even know what these things cost. I can't remember. I wasn't even paying attention when I bought it because I needed it and I didn't think about looking. But so for probably less than $20, I don't have a blown head. Drove it today, no issue. So make sure that when you're troubleshooting, if you have a problem, you actually go through the steps to troubleshoot. See where your problems are. Diagnose it correctly. Look at your fuel system, your total system here. Was my radiator bad? Clearly not. It's not leaking. There's no reason why a radiator wouldn't necessarily add pressure. Things that add pressure are crankcase pressure from a blown head gasket, or this not relieving the 16 psi. So obviously the cooling system doesn't have a ton of components. So if you're overheating, do you have a bad water pump? Well, you can look down here at the water pump because it's externally mounted on the motor and say, oh no, it's not leaking, so it's probably not bad. The radiator cap, the thermostat, is the thermostat sticking? I got a brand new thermostat. I bought a brand new thermostat for it, and I verified in a pan of water on my stove that it worked just fine and that it was indeed not going to stick on me. Every thermostat I put into a truck or any car or anything, if it's got a thermostat, I take the thermostat and I put it in a pan of water and I boil it. So do a little thinking, use logic, use reason, and solve your problems. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.